Let's see. Is this working? 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 Okay, I think it's working. 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 Okay, awesome. 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 Awesome. Let me just update something. 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 Okay, awesome to be live. Awesome to be live. Awesome. 2 people. Hello, hello. Awesome. 2 people. This is my first time streaming. So this is my first time streaming. So this is my first time streaming. Yeah. This is my first time streaming. Kind of go over the plan of today. Kind of go over trying to build a game engine Zig. Trying to build a first time Zig. I've built a true game engine. I've done a little bit of dabbling. I've built a true game engine. I've done a little bit of dabbling. Let's get into it. So to start, let's get into it. So to start now. So to start, just have to. So to start, just have to. And I'm thinking getting a window up. Probably isn't the best thing to start. Getting a window up. Probably isn't the best thing to start. Getting a window up. Probably in the past I actually have. In the past I actually done this before. Creating a GLFW window. 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 Okay. Okay. Add that to a project. 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 Cool, now that that's in there, let's make sure we get it as a dependency. Should we get it as a dependency? So what we're gonna need, let's see. Let's see. I'll write about here. Add that. Target optimize equals optimize. Awesome. So now add that. Link that to the dependency. Okay, so that builds. Hey, it's looking good. Okay, awesome. We're able to get that to build. So now let's go in and try and see if we can use it. One thing I like to do is add this like c.zig. Makes it easier for dealing with conflicts in C. So we'll add that. And include it in GLFW. There we go. And then we also need the window. What's it called? That's it. There we go. And going back over, let's call this probably just trying to keep it simple right now. Set up window should be void. Okay. Okay, let's see what we need for that. Sorry, just 1 second. Just make sure the stream's looking good. Okay, awesome. Yeah, always happy to answer any questions. Feel free to chat. So what we'll want is GLFW. And yeah, so with that. And let's start initializing. Let's call it SIG actually, or C, and then GLFW. There you go, that's better. And then let's initialize. And then we'll just do a simple print if it fails. Print, and then fail to initialize GLFW. And also for information, I'm using Zig 0.15. Yeah. Cool. And then in Zig fashion, we'll defer the termination. Okay, it should be a nice initialization. But still have to create the window. Yeah, so GLFW, and then let's give it some hints of the version. We're going to start by using 3.3. Window, oops. And we want W context. Version major first is 3. And then minor will also be 3. And then we're also going to start by just using OpenGL right now to start this game engine. GLFW, OpenGL, profile, and GLFW, OpenGL for profile. Okay. So that will just tell GLFW kind of the version we're using, and if it's OpenGL. Pretty cool. Awesome. I do see we have 1 viewer in there, so I appreciate you. GLFW. So now let's actually go and create the window. And let's do 1920 by 1080. This is our Zephyr engine, which we're calling it for now. And then the rest of these can be null. Yeah, and if Windows null, then we run another just debug print. Logging will come pretty early in here, as obviously it's an important thing. Shall I GLFW window this time? And then obviously want to return. We factor that up here. Yeah. Cool. So now that, and then again, don't want any leaks. So let's defer the destroy. Window, let's take that window. Awesome. And then now next with GLFW, you need to create the context. Make context current, pass in that window. And then let's also turn on vsync. Swap interval to 1. And this is our vsync. Just make sure that works right now. Okay, awesome. Didn't crash. Obviously, we don't have any loop to keep the window open. Okay. So now I'm looking. Just thinking if we can start the loop now. Let's see. So we have the vsync enabled. yeah, I think that should be good to now get the main loop going and actually making a window appear. Okay, awesome. So now let's wait. Window should close. Window equals, oh. Okay, there we go. Yep. So, well, it should stay open. And guess really we just want to swap buffers every frame for the window. Yeah, just trying to think. Guess we also want to pull input. And then I know there was a bug that I'd run into earlier. If we don't do it at the end, it'll give us some errors. So besides that, let's see if we can run this. Okay. So it doesn't look like any window appeared. Let's see what we're missing. Oh, I guess we don't. I'm not really rendering anything to the screen yet, so we will probably want to get OpenGL hooked up right away. Yeah, and for that we'll use Glad. I'd actually created a repo already for that. Let me pull it up. Yeah, so this one, very easy to use. Just need to do a similar thing we did earlier. So we'll do the fetch. And go back to our build and just paste essentially the same thing in there as we had here. Let's be consistent with naming. So we have Glide in here, and this is linked against 4.6 OpenGL. So that should be working good now that it's in here. Let's just try and build that. Okay, awesome. Built, no problem. Let's go back over to C, and then we will want probably GL. Close the C, import something very similar. C include glad.h, I believe it is, and now it's exported. Yeah. So now that we're over here, we will now start to create that glad loader and everything. So as we've done here, let's just call it GL. I guess actually it probably makes more sense to keep this one glad to be as explicit. Okay, awesome. So now that we've done that, let's create our loader for the while loop. This is glad. The load function, I'll have to cast that the address of the address. And it's the function call that we're passing. So it's a passing reference to a function. Awesome. Okay, now that we have that, let's make sure it actually is valid. So if that loader, we load it and it fails, we'll know here. Turn early. Okay, awesome. Now, let's look here. So obviously we'll want to clear the color. At the end of, or before we swap buffers, so let's do that here. Geo color buffer bit. So let's see how that's doing. Okay. So it doesn't look like, oh, I know what's going on. We're actually calling it. And that's set up enough. That's why it's not looping. Okay. Let's look at this. So scene port failed. So this one failed. Let's see if I did that wrong earlier with glad. Pulling this up. glad/glad.h. Now let's see if that works right. Okay, still seem to fail. Glad.h not found. Let's look. So we did that against glad. Let's make sure it's in the proper place here. Okay, it is there. So just clean this up over here. Oh yeah, we can do that. Also, yeah, let's set up that's get ignore. Let's see. Cache. Let's get that out of there. Okay. And cool. So let's go back to this problem. It's not finding that. Should have been built in a build file. So glad there. Zig glad. Just try it one more time. So again, not able to find that. So it seems like it's not building it. Let me go look in another project that I have that uses this. So did that with glad. Okay, that's there, same thing. 0.03, but yeah, so this glad import does look the exact same. Yep, it is. Then let's go back to that build. So you're the same. I guess I can switch that. Yeah, okay, same thing. We are linking it. Let me think. Should do it. Guess we can get rid of the glad and just make sure the window creation works for now. Okay, awesome. So we have a window. It's a great start. Awesome to see. Yeah, so very happy with that start. Able to see the full thing. It does look a little stretched on the stream. Let me see. Interesting. Let me see what's going on there. Does seem to be stretched. There we go. Okay. Sorry if you couldn't see my full screen properly. Should be fixed now. It's a weird one. Okay, but yeah, as we can see here, we have the full screen. Okay, so now let's go back and try and get GLAD working. So it does appear here in glad/glad.h. It's in our cache. Very interesting. It's all here. So it has been built in. It's not able to get it. Good thing it's not found. Interesting indeed. Yeah, let's see. So I'm just gonna make sure you're there. You're in our Zig cache. So it does exist. It doesn't seem to be able to be found. Let's see if there's anything different with this project. In this project, it's in the same place. Zig cache. Yeah. It's saying you can't find it. No, it should be there. Okay, stream still looks good. Very cool. Still trying to figure this one out.
I don't really.
Thank you again to whoever is watching. Yeah, really appreciate it. Still trying to figure this out. So glad is there, but I can't find it. Gonna do some Googling. Building. Interesting. Guess maybe I need to have a proper include. No. Let's check the version I have. This is 0.3, which is right. Hi, welcome. Thank you for chatting. Best viewers on Streambo. Okay, good to know. Appreciate it. Does, however, kind of look like it might be a scam. So I'm not gonna go to that link, but appreciate you chatting. Yeah, thanks again for chatting. Always, it was the first message, so always happy to see it. But still trying to debug this. So why won't glad exist here? Big thing to figure out. Might just have to go to Claude. Error. Alright, cool. Let's give that a minute to figure out why we keep debugging. This can write a nicer readme here. Game engine, for learning, currently is view for management and OpenGL 4.6 as its render. Eventually I do want to upgrade, or eventually we'll go down the path of going to Vulkan, but to start definitely want to keep it simple and just go with the OpenGL. And again, this is my first time streaming, so appreciate any feedback and advice anyone could give me. Let's see. So it does just say to do it earlier. Runtime mod. Okay, interesting. So we need to create the dependencies first. Yeah, okay, that could make sense. Let's see. Does that work? Okay, there we go. We do have that. Okay, thanks, Love. So yeah, so I'm trying my best not to use AI to generate much of the code. I do want to write as much as I can myself, but always useful for debugging. So if we go back over here, yeah, it's awesome. Cool. All right, just checking my OBS. Things are looking good. Okay. So now that we do have this basic setup flow, we probably do want to try and abstract it and just think about game engines and everything. We obviously want the runtime to control the loop. And I can actually share kind of the current plan, or we can build out some more of the plan, but obviously we want to render. So we have our window. Don't know why Obsidian's acting like that. Weird. Gonna restart my Obsidian. There we go. Okay, so we have our window creation. Obviously not a lot in here, so we want to probably start working on a renderer right away. Obviously we want input. We want to have a nice abstraction of GLFW in case we ever want to use native APIs. We want window, kind of like its own window class or struct in this case. So I'm trying to think about how to structure this, what would be best. Eventually we want a scene too, of course. We need a window context, render context, event system, input system, time. So input system, let's see. Can I just time system, I'll go under runtime. Eventually the kind of package I was showing earlier, I'm trying to build my own editor, or kind of like, what am I trying to say? The UI library, which I hope to use for this game engine. And let's see, so I just want to enter render triangle. Let's even go probably render mesh. I want to render context. Kind of run render structure / class. Let's pull that under there. Yeah, so I'm gonna try and keep it. Oh, we want logging, of course. And I'm gonna try and keep this as low dependency as possible. Obviously, I've already used 2 in GLFW and GLAD, but those are kind of unavoidable. Yeah, so I think eventually want to abstract away models, meshes, shaders, obviously. Let's actually just start to kind of look at the OpenGL book a bit and see what would be a good place to kind of keep going here. So obviously we have our window already. As it should be, and then I'm going to try and just get a basic triangle rendered on the screen. I think that should be a good goal to wrap today up. So we've done that. Right, we will want to set our viewport. probably right about here. Viewport, which will be, obviously we want to take the full screen, so 0, 0, 1920. Obviously this will all get cleaned up over time. Shouldn't change anything there. Okay, great. And then, and on the side, I am scrolling through the OpenGL book, which is here. I can post it in chat. I think you're right, actually. Just do that. So it's Learn OpenGL. Very, very popular resource. Highly recommend. Guess I should get rid of some of that old Overwatch League stuff, huh? But nevertheless, let's just keep going. So let's look here. What other things have I done in the other project? It's right before rendering is when we kind of want to do that. Okay. And then yeah, it'll be very similar things here. Binding buffer, vertex arrays, all that stuff. Shaders, yeah, okay. Let's go back over here. What you do want to do is probably every frame. Probably clear, should go near the top. Yeah, cool, okay. It's actually, no, that makes sense, okay. Going back to the OpenGL book. So we already have that, and we have terminate. Okay, so I'm not gonna worry about input too much yet. I will get back to that. And then, right, clear color, let's just do that. Clear color, let's try that 0.2, 0.2, and 1. Okay, awesome. Now it's not black anymore, it's darker gray. Let's actually try bring up the red. It's a little too bright. I know bring more blue in there. Should make it look very nice. Yeah, it's a little bit better, kind of Christmassy. But I actually overall probably don't want that. Look at this. A little bit lighter, maybe 0.4 across should be pretty good. Don't want to blind you guys. Okay, so yeah, we have a nice gray. Awesome. So next is triangles. So let's get those vertices there. So let's do that out here. Just do these, which will be, we just have 32s, or sorry, F32s, and it'll be 3 by 3. Just see if I can get the syntax right. Still learning lots of Zig stuff. Okay, so maybe we actually want something like this. Let's see. Maybe the other one works too. And there we go. Yeah, that looks right. Awesome, awesome. So now we have those vertices. So yeah, so again, if you don't know OpenGL, I highly recommend taking a look at the book, put in chat. But as far as the exact array names, still is a great reference for myself. Okay, so now we navigate into it. So we set the viewport, click colors. Now let's do some of the vertex buffer stuff. And again, today I'm just trying to get the triangle on the screen. I think tomorrow we'll be starting to do some more clearer abstractions, maybe add some logging. Still keeping things very simple right now. Okay, so we have, what do we have here? Probably U32. So let's do that. Just initialize it to 0. And then gen buffers 0. We want 1. I'm taking no reference. Just also make sure that looks right. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So we need that, and then we need to bind it. Bind buffer gl.gl array buffer, and then probably the address of that. Great. So now we have a vertex buffer, and we will want to fill that buffer data. Okay. gl.gl buffer data. GL array buffer, of course, and then so we need the bytes, the data, okay, byte size of vertices, the vertices itself, and .gl static trail. Okay, so that's awesome. Let me look here. Okay, item.pointer is what we really want here. Or no, that is the pointer. It's a static array. Okay. The other one was an array list. I think size of should work here. The number of bytes it takes now. Yeah. Okay, so we will want, again, just a simple shader. So let's just keep it in memory for now. Let's just copy this and then update it as we need. Really just want to keep it very simple here. Okay. So vertex shader source. Oops. Okay. So let's look at it here. Layout, position equals 0, location, I mean. In back 3, a position. Okay. So we have that. And then geo position. Just what's it going to be here? So we have back 4. A pos.x, a pos.y, probably the same. A pos.c, and fine. So now we have that source. In GLSL, of course. So that's there. Then we need to create that. So now U32 for vertex shader. U32 equals 0. And then gl shader source create shader. Of course, and then vertex shader or gl shader. And that's assigned there. Awesome. Still appreciate the one viewer. Thanks for sticking around and watching. Okay, so now that we have that, we're gonna need to get the shader source and then compile it. OpenGL.jl shader source. So it's gonna be that vertex shader boosted position 1 on the actual source. And what's that last one? Oh, do I need to be anything? I see I need to be const as well. OpenGL. It's compile shader. Okay, that should be awesome here. We'll add checking later, and then fragment shader. Very similar process. Yes, FS. Okay, now let's look at the actual thing. Chon out. Vec4. Vec4 frag color. Fine, we have frag color equals, oh, I don't really need anything, so just do what they're doing here. I think that should be an orange, so let's just go. It's what kind of red we did earlier. 2F. And then this one would be a fragment shader, and compile that shader. Okay, now we need the shader program to link the two. Okay, program equals, let's do GL create shader program V. Oh, I guess not the V one. Create program, that's what I'm looking for. So we have the CUint. Okay, so we've done that, and now we attach the two shaders. Attach shader, so we need the program. What's happening there? Getting some errors. Let's just close and retry. Should be the, let's see. Yes. FS. And then shader.jl program. Should be the program. So we attach to link it. Again, I'll add this after. Shader.jl use program. Take the program. Do it and delete the shaders. Yes, and FS. Okay, getting close to that triangle. Very, very close. Very cool. Okay, so yeah, let's get to the tree pointer. Tree pointer. Okay, so we want 0, offset by 3. GL, we're doing this float 32s. Don't want to normalize. So we have 3 at size of 32. And we avoid pointer to 0. What should it be? Cons any opaque. That's any type. Kind of a pointer. Pointer. So at point, okay, that makes sense. pointer. Because we do need that to be an address, but it can just be null. So yeah, pointer from 0. And then enable text a triple array. Cool. So when we have all that, now let's see. So we do that. So let's do use program after. Okay. So we're almost there. Now we need, let's just go look. So we need the val, and then that's kind of it. Yeah. Gen vertex arrays. And one, which you want something like this. So video, we want that. Okay, so we have that. Okay, let's look here. So I guess we don't really need too much. So we bind the vertex array. Bind vertex array object before bind buffer. So let's do this earlier. And also at the end, it looks like. Not that one. Let's go back here. So we have gen vertex arrays. Define vertex array. And then we go down there. Okay. So we do the bind, then we bind buffer. Let's do the gens first. So that, those two. We also actually do the compilation. All the creation stuff at the top. And then we attach link, delete, okay. We bind vertex, right? We bind buffer data, buffer and buffer data, then a trip pointer, enable. What's going on there? Is that not up there? It's duplicated. Yeah, don't need that. And then use program and rebind that. Okay, let's see if it works. Okay, did not work. Expected this, got that. Let's see what's going on here. So via source. Oh, we have to do this cast. Remember this. So we do that, and then fs pointers. Okay, let's see how this runs. Okay. Still not right. Let's look. So we do that. Oh, still needs to be the address. Okay. That to be a C event. So let's look at the val. There are U32s. Just make sure I'm reading that error right. 96. Bind buffer. Jill Uint. Oh, just nice to see your phone. Okay. So doesn't like that. Expected type font. Okay. So that's not gonna work. So size of F32 times 9 then. Okay. So no triangle, obviously. What's going on? Definitely getting close though. So I'm just gonna pull up the book side by side for myself. So the source. So I feel like a lot doesn't have to happen every single loop. Let's go there. So it does that, uses the program. Let's see how this runs now. Looking at the color, it should be different than what we have at, yeah, okay, they're different colors for sure. Let's see, what could it be? What are we missing? We'll add the element array buffer after, but we should be able to see a simple triangle. Yeah, it's probably a good idea to add some of the checks. Let's see. What else could it be? Could ask Claude here. I'd like to try and figure this out myself. So we attach shaders link the program. Pretty normal. Let's just ask Claude. Let's see if I can figure it out. Okay, I found 2 issues. Oh, my vertex positions. I never updated them to be the proper data, of course. There we go. -0.5, -0.5, and 0, 0. Those all zeros. Those one's negative. So negative top 2 like that, and then okay. Just try that one. Okay, that still didn't work. Oh, my draw call. Never did that. Was it even in here? Yeah, there we go. So never. So it should be gl.triangles. 3 triangles. So up to 3. Okay. Let's see. And there's a triangle. Kind of trippy to look at the color scheme. That's very strange. But yeah, we have a triangle. So that's awesome. So I'm actually going to commit this. Again, not the best code, but try and just get something on the screen and slowly make progress over time. No. There we go. Okay, and I will just be right back. Bathroom. Okay, I am back. Hope the stream quality's been good again. First time streaming, so just appreciate anyone comes along. Awesome. Yeah, so in case you missed it, we do have a triangle. Triangle on the screen. Awesome, but we are doing the rendering extra indices, so it's going to be best to use the what they call element buffer objects in that case. Because now I guess we're going to try and go for a square, but square made out of 2 triangles, and then but obviously there would be 6 vertices there, but we only need to draw 4, so the element buffers will tell us to use, like, if we look at the example they got here, to kind of draw them in this order, and we only end up needing, if you look at them, like 0, 1, 2, and 3, so that's 4 indices instead of 0 through, I guess, 5. Okay. Then also, we can check render triangle off, and let's also do render quad, which will be next with element buffer objects. Okay, so yeah, So let's now update the data to be a quad. So let's do second. So now it's going to be 6 rows of 3. Okay. Looks like that all stays the same. Very similar. Sometimes actually seeing some differences. You go positive. You go positive. 0.5. So all of those are 0, 0, negative, 0, negative, 0. Okay. And then you're positive. Negative, negative, 0.5. And negative, negative, positive. Okay, that looks good. Now we have more data, so we do have to consider that around. Because now instead of 9, it's 3 by 6, which is 18. But yeah, we also want indices, which just a simple flat array. Yeah, and there'll be 6 in there, and there'll be 32s. Which will be 0, 1, 3. And then was it 1, 2, 3? Is that right? Okay, so now with the indices, now we want the element buffer array. So let's do that. I think it still is a buffer. Yeah, we still gen buffer the same way. And now we have to do similar things as we did here. But let's do that. So let's bind it to element array. So we have that. So now it would be 32s. And there's only 6 of them. And indices, still a static draw, I believe. Yep. Okay. So we've done that. So now we bound both those buffers. Okay. And done that. Changed too much. Now draw elements. It's gonna be 6. Oh wait, it's not arrays anymore. It's elements. 6 of them. GL.gl unsigned int 0. Okay. So now that should be right. If we do that, everything else should be the same, I believe. Okay, let's see. Oh, at int pointer from int. Okay, obviously did not work. Let's see here. What went wrong? So we use the shader program, bind the element array, vertex array. So let's unbind that. Okay. Everything else looks about the same. We do that, then we use program vertex array. And then we unbind it. think I'll do it after. This is all we need in the render loop itself. So I'm doing a lot of extra work. So we bind. Okay, let's go back to our debugger, aka Claude. Debug Claude is not doing attribute. Color should be the same. Yeah. I'm pretty sure all of this can go up here. Okay, and again, any tips, be a better streamer. Always happy to hear them. Appreciate anyone that's stopping by. Can't see. Still thinking. Just looking at this, I'm not seeing anything. Should be out of the ordinary. Huh. Okay. So we can try that, see if it works. Oh, yeah, there we go. So then what? Is that what its data ended up looking like? It did. Okay, no, that makes sense. I just missed that in the book. Because we're using the indices, we don't need to draw or like load as many vertices. So we have the quad, and that is awesome. Let's see. Let's start by doing that movement, like I said, I think should work. Does it work? Does, awesome. Lost work in the main render loop. And then let's try this as well. GL polygon mode as it explains. Open. So let's go. GL front and back. GL fill. Or no. GL. Fine. See how that works. I haven't actually tried that before. Cool. And that does do its wireframe. Very interesting. Won't keep that there, but just wanted to see it from the book. Render quad. Okay. Now we have quads, and that's awesome to see. Yeah, so I think that's about all I'm gonna do for today. Again, first time streaming, just trying to get a feel for it. Hope everyone enjoyed it. And yeah, maybe, depending on how my day goes, could be back later today, keep working on this. Next thing is definitely refactoring. I guess, might as well check off the render quad. And then I'm also just gonna say, extract GLFW and extract OpenGL. Nice. Those will be the two next kind of big things I do before diving into probably input. And yeah, I think doing input in uniforms to try and just get something like moving on the screen be very fun, very cool to see. But obviously we want to clean up our root.zig file. But yeah, again, that's gonna be my stream for right now. Might be back later, might be back tomorrow. Yeah, appreciate everyone.